This video is called the walk back find. It's a reality situation that can occur on any particular case at any time. It's something that a handler could face working on a real deployment. Unfortunately, it's something that we don't often do in training but need to do more of. The video will be a perfect example of why, and also give the viewer some ideas on how to manage this in their own training. This is really a beautiful trail, and there's not a heck of a lot to critique. I'll mention a couple things along the way, but for the most part, the ending is what's most important. Notice how the dog picks up the scent of the person right here. It actually already knows where the trail is and ready to go. I think the scent article, though important, is a little bit redundant at this point because the dog is anxious to go. Presentation of that scent article might have been better a little bit past because the dog's already wanting to take the trail. You can see it doesn't have a lot of interest in the scent article. The handler is doing a pretty good job of keeping a shorter lead due to the traffic on the side of the road here. I have to encourage her a little bit to use more lead in some open areas when the dog's moving, but for the most part, this is probably a very good position for any type of busy traffic that we're running parallel to. To me, this dog has all the classic trailing behavior of a dog that's mislocked on scent odor. You don't see any deviation, no distraction. This is really perfect body language and exceptional speed. Watch what happens at the intersection. The dog hits the curb, goes out a little bit to the right, probably due to windblown odor, and then makes an immediate conscious decision to cross the street. This is almost exactly where the footsteps of the subject were. Here's the big turn right there. Dog picks up on good odor on the grass. Handler's a little unsure, so I have to help her forward. This may be due to all the molehills there. I'm not exactly sure, but it's really good trailing behavior and should be followed. Generally speaking, I like to really stay behind the dog as much as possible. Notice that the handler has more lead out at this point. It's safer. The dog's in a more open area, so it's a perfect place to let that lead go.
Stay behind your dog.
This next section is really good around this map board. The dog's obviously getting a lot of odor here. It's probably partially the subject and probably a lot of other people as well looking at the map. It's a difficult situation to handle a lead. It's a difficult situation to allow the dog freedom, really due to the obstacle. The dog's trying to get through and the handler's having difficulty doing it. This is really a very nice trail. The dog's making great decisions, good head down position, obviously following ground odor. Not much deviation and not much frustration on the dog's part in any way, shape, or form. Very easy to read. One of the things I like the most is that nose is down almost the entire trail. Dog's following very good ground odor. You're going to see a change take place, and it's going to happen shortly after the top of this bridge. Once the dog goes through all the people here, everything begins to change. So I want you to pay attention to the body language changes that we see. You've probably noticed up to this point that the dog's been speeding up slightly, and the speed's going to increase right here. The other thing is the dog's going to go heads up, that tail's going to start wagging, and it's going to start looking back at the handler. This is a proximity alert. The dog knows it's close, it knows the subject's very near, and this is because of scent on air currents in the general vicinity of the trail. Right now the dog's going to start moving to the left and right all over the place. This is completely unusual behavior. Nothing like this dog has done until this point. It's because it's excited. It knows the subject is here. It just doesn't know where. The dog's expecting to find the subject in a hide. There's the spot right there. It's identifying the subject but doesn't quite know what to do with it. The reason being is the subject is walking back towards the dog. This is a situation the dog's never encountered before and doesn't quite know how to deal with it. Just out of camera shot, our trail layer just walked past this person crouching down. The person crouching down is classic trailing trail layer body position for a dog to find. It's what we seem to do all the time in training. And so the dog actually has to be corrected because it thinks it's the right thing, is the dog is in the scent pool of the vicinity of the person it's looking for. Now here's our real trail layer, walking back directly towards the dog. The dog is not going to be ready for this. It's never really done this before, so it's not prepared to do an ID. We have to help. And one of the ways to do that is to pay at the source as soon as the dog encounters the person. Conditioning for training of people hiding all the time is what's created this monster. The only way we can stop it is by making the endings a little bit more real. People moving, people doing things they normally would do in real life.